Okay, next scenario that we have are knife attacks. Knife attacks are the most difficult to encounter because knives are very, very easy weapons to be used against a person to do a lot of damage. We see a lot of people that claim to know how to defend themselves against knives, and the truth is you have to be very, very lucky to walk away without a cut, okay? And that's very rare. So expect to actually take a cut somewhere. What you want to do is you want to offer the bony parts of your body. You don't want to offer soft tissue because there's more arteries and there's more things there that can be damaged. It's more life-threatening. So the more bone that you can offer in a fight situation with somebody that has a blade, better. The best thing to do is to not get involved in a knife fight in the first place. Use a weapon yourself, your shirt, a coat, a belt, something that you can do to get the weapon away from a person. If there's none of that around and you have absolutely zero options, offer the bony parts of your body and move in and attack relentlessly. Get control of the weapon and try not to do anything fancy despite what you see in the movies and all that fantasy stuff, okay? So we're gonna run through a couple of very typical scenarios. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna bring my partner in, okay? Now, most situations, people are going to either slash, they're going to what's called ice pick, or they're going to do what's called the horror movie, where they're coming overhead, or a lot of times they're going to, again, do like a haymaker, but they're going to try to slash sort of like in an X, okay? These are the most common types of encounters that you're going to get with a knife or in the street. Honestly, anybody that does that does not know how to use a knife, okay? Anybody that does know how to use a knife, which is military, special forces, all these guys, they're going to hide the blade. You want to get away from that person, okay? Because nothing you do is going to work. This is if you encounter a typical street fighter who's just swinging the blade, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to cover the very, very most typical one, which is the slash, side to side, okay? As he's slashing, all right, I don't want to take a step back, because when I step back, that's the extension of his weapon, which is the blade. So as he's slashing, I want to move in and strike and attack anything that I can get a hold of. Notice I'm keeping the weapon away from me, okay? I'm not pulling it in to do some kind of technique where I'm grabbing him and locking. That's a waste of time and you're going to get cut, okay? If he's slashing again, if I can step back in, I'm going to make him hyperextend his elbow, okay? So if I slow it down a little bit, as he slashes this way, I'm using the bony part of my arm like a box, and I'm going to let him, with his own momentum, break his elbow, okay? Once the elbow is broken, I can use all of my weapons, all right? The overhead, which is probably the dumbest way to attack somebody, but it's the easiest to defend against, okay? As he's doing that overhead shot, I angle off to the side, and with the momentum, I'm going to make him stab himself, okay? If I really want to be nasty, I can pull that weapon out, and then I can continue to use it against him, okay? The other typical way that people are going to come at you is the ice pick, okay? The ice pick is a little bit more dangerous to encounter because you have to time it properly. It's all about timing, and remember when we were talking about the angles of attack and the different ranges of combat. You've got to close the distance. That's the only way you're going to score, okay? So if he's giving me the typical ice pick, right? Give me a couple of quick ice picks, okay? Last thing I want to do again is step back, because this is going to put me in danger, okay? So as he's ice picking, I've got to attack his arm. I've got to move in and I've got to attack that arm. This is a nice break. From here, if I'm having a really bad day, I'm going to elbow this guy wherever I can get him, and then I'm going to get out, okay? So these are just a couple of different things that you can do, just a few options, if you're in a corner and there's nothing else that you can do. Notice, like I said, I offered the bony parts of my body so that if I do take a cut, okay, He's cutting the bone, I could possibly save my life. If he cuts on the inside where it's soft tissue, he's cutting arteries, he's cutting tendons, he's cutting ligaments, all kinds of bad problems. Cover your center line and do not let him get in any of the soft tissues that run down the front of your body.